We've got a great lineup for you tonight. We have the latest headlines and casting news, Oscar predictions with Eli Ralston and Julia Ricci, and Ben Cramer will tell you which actor is under the radar.
All this and more is coming your way, so stick around because The Real Deal starts now. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show. I'm Kayli Russell.
And I'm Andrew Bennett. Want to be in on the know for the latest Hollywood news? Well, Romelle Taday has you covered with this week's Hollywood headlines. Take it away, Romelle.
Cue Kermit's patent arm flailing, yay! Following their successful return to the pop culture limelight with 2011's The Muppets, Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, and the rest of the gang are heading back to the big screen. The Muppets, again, due March 21st, 2014, finds the Muppet Repertory Company enjoying a triumphant world tour only to become tangled up with a criminal mastermind named Constantine who is out to steal an enormous diamond and who happens to be a dead ringer for Kermit. Starring opposite the Muppets this time are Ricky Gervais as Constantine's villainous sidekick, Tina Fey as a Russian prison guard, and Ty Burrell as an Interpol agent. CBS's hit drama NCIS has been renewed for another season. After the network extended its contract with series star and executive producer Mark Harmon, the network said Friday. In a world gone niche, NCIS keeps getting bigger, and Mark Harmon continues to define the role of leading man and on the #1 show on television, CBS Corporation President and CEO Leslie Moonves said of the renewal. NCIS is the type of franchise every company wants in today's global content ecosystem, high-quality storytelling that generates passionate viewers and drives revenue on every conceivable platform. A ratings blockbuster for CBS, NCIS, which airs Tuesdays at 8 p.m., has been television's top scripted drama since the 2009-2010 season. In its current 10th season, the program has been averaging a 4.2 rating, 12 share in the 18 to 49 demographic, most important to advertisers, and 21.5 million total viewers, a 7% increase over last year. And Mark Waters will direct Blood Sisters, the first film in a planned franchise based on the Vampire Academy young adult novels. Reliance Entertainment and IM Global announced on Friday. Reliance and IM Global are financing the movie, which is based on the first book in Rochelle Mead's best-selling series. There are 6 books in the series thus far, and Waters' brother, Dan Waters, adapted the tale, which follows 2 inseparable vampires, Rose Hathaway and Princess Lissa, and the 2 attend a school designed to help vampires remain somewhat human as they mature. As humans often do, the 2 girls both fall for Dimitri, their guardian, but together they must battle evil forces intent on harming the princess. Zoe Dutch will star as Rose, while Lucy Fry will play Lissa, and Danila Kozlovsky will play Dimitri. Prager Entertainment initially optioned the book, and Michael Prager will produce with Angry Films' Don Murphy and Susan Montford, as well as Kintop Pictures' Deepak Nayar. IM Global CEO Stuart Ford will executive produce the film, which will enter production early in the summer. IM Global will handle foreign sales. And that's it for Hollywood Headlines. I'm Romelle Taday.
Thanks, Romelle. Hollywood is abuzz with casting news right now, and Aaron Beal is here to fill you in. What have you got for us, Aaron?
Jeremy Renner, who played Matt Damon in The Bourne Legacy, is slated to star in the film that chronicles the CIA's efforts to craft a smear campaign to ruin the reputation of journalist Gary Webb after he's linked to a scheme to arm Contra rebels in Nicaragua and import cocaine into California. Early reports suggest that Renner will be much shorter than usual in this film and will play his role with much more anger than more recent performances. Daniel Craig may be written out of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo sequel, The Girl Who Played with Fire. After the huge billion-dollar success that was Skyfall, Craig is seeking a pay raise, potentially making his casting too expensive. Since Craig is such a big shot now, let's give the role to someone who really needs the work. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, for instance. He's barely making ends meet, scraping together the cash he has from the 5 movies he had last year. Or Tom Hardy, who only has 11 movies in development. Have a heart, Sony Pictures. These actors need to eat too. I mean, look at Gordon-Levitt. He's so skinny, I worry about him. Oscar nominee and host Seth MacFarlane is returning to the big screen with A Million Ways to Die in the West. It's said to be a Western in the tone of Blazing Saddles, about a sheepish farmer and his girlfriend who leaves him after he chickens out of a duel. McFarlane stars as the farmer, and he casts Charlize Theron as his girlfriend. McFarlane is excited to have Theron on board after several sleepless nights of trying to find a socially acceptable way to pay Charlize Theron to make out with him. And if this movie is anything like Ted, it'll certainly be advertised as a comedy. That's it for Casting Call. I'm Aaron Beal.
Thanks, Aaron. That Seth MacFarlane is definitely one to watch. He's gained a lot of momentum this past year.
I agree. Let's hope he does well when he hosts the Oscars. That stage can make or break you. Speaking of breaks, it looks like it's time for our first one. When we come back, Aidan Hall will give us this week's top 5. And Chauncey Baker has a bone to pick with Hollywood in the Rant. But first, here's the weekend's box office report.
Where was the last time you saw Bin Laden?
Where's Mama Victoria?
Like this, it's a sin if you don't reach back.
This is what I believe to be true. You have to do everything you can. And if you stay positive, you have a shot at a silver lining.
You gotta be kidding me.
We're changing everything.
We're seeing corpses fighting skeletons, sir.
Where do we shoot?
Shoot that!
Hi. Huh?
Welcome back. The NFL season just ended, and we've still got a little while until March Madness. So need a great sports flick to tide you over? Aidan Hall is here to help with this week's top 5. Aidan?
Thanks, guys. With the Super Bowl behind us, what better way for us here at The Real Deal to talk about the Super Bowl than to talk about some of the best sports movies ever made? So grab your ticket at the gate, because these are the top 5 sports movies. Number 5, Basketball. In 1998, 2 jobless sports fans, played by Trey Parker and Matt Stone of South Park and Book of Mormon fame, decided to make their own sport. The new sport was a hybrid of baseball, basketball, and smack talk. While it's no inspirational underdog movie, this movie has jokes galore and will make you want to form your own basketball team. Number 4, Hoosiers. For more local appeal, look no further than the 1986 classic Hoosiers. Hoosiers, starring Gene Hackman and the late Dennis Hopper, tells the tale of a small Indiana town's basketball team and their quest to win the state championship. The movie is powerful, and while yes, dated, it does carry that underdog spirit that we all need sometimes. Number 3, Raging Bull. For all you boxing fans out there, what about the classic movie that tells the story of an American Italian that dreams of being a champ? Well, of course, I know you're all talking about Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull. Raging Bull stars Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci as it tells the biographical tale of Jake LaMotta. It is like Sylvester Stallone's classic Rocky, however, it is much darker and paints the true image of a pained champion. You'll feel for the characters, and you'll feel the actors' dedication to their roles. Robert De Niro actually put on 60 pounds for his role. The movie is great, and you'll be hooked until the last lines are spoken. Number 2, Remember the Titans. In 2000, Denzel Washington starred in this football epic. It tells the tale of a recently desegregated school who must band together in order to win the championship and bring home the trophy. The movie is good, while a bit cliché, but it gives a strong message of sticking together, no matter your color, and that's pretty cool. And at number 1, Rudy. As a Fighting Irish fan myself, no good sports list would be complete with the iconic Rudy. Rudy tells the story of a boy with no talent but tons of perseverance that no matter what, never says no. He works and struggles just to get into a small junior college where he meets a Notre Dame student who helps him study and put his nose to the grindstone. And in his senior year, after working hard and managing to be put on the Notre Dame football team, he gets to come on the final play and sacks the opposing quarterback. While the final game was a blowout before he even got to the field, the movie's inspirational, and you can't get more underdog than Rudy.
Thanks, Aidan. I just got a little choked up just listening to that. I can't watch Rudy without getting emotional.
Andrew, remember what Tom Hanks said, "There's no crying in football." Or was it baseball? Quotes aside, let's see what Chauncey Baker is angry with Hollywood right now. What's wrong this time, Chauncey?
I may sound like a broken record, but I really hate Hollywood remakes of classic movies. I really don't understand why the execs feel the need to reboot every franchise that may have seemed successful at some point in time. It's almost like the brilliant minds of Tinseltowns are scraping at the bottom of the creative barrel. I bet they're twirling their mustaches and twiddling their thumbs saying, what franchise can we bring back? Guess what, Hollywood? The consumers have had enough. Remember the remake of Total Recall with Colin Farrell that came out last year? Didn't think so, because no one saw it! Another classic science fiction movie that's about to get a modern makeover is RoboCop. Just a little history. When I was little, I had RoboCop action figures, comic books, and my VHS copy was worn down from watching it one too many times. Please, Hollywood, leave RoboCop alone! Just because it's been almost 20 years since we've seen a RoboCop film does not mean we need another one. It's like flogging a dead horse. Another series that's being brought back is The Evil Dead. Nerds everywhere are pissed off and angry about the remake. The main reason, 2 words. Bruce friggin' Campbell. The series just isn't the same without our square-jawed hero playing a bumbling one-handed idiot that slays the hordes of the undead. Basically, I am fed up with these crappy remakes. This genuinely pisses me off almost as much as the Batsuit having nipples. I'm Chauncey Baker, and this has been The Rant, or should I say, Rant 2.0.
Thanks, Chauncey. It's time to take another break. When we come back, Eli Ralston and Julia Ricci will give us another round of their Oscar predictions. But first, here's our recommendation of the week. We here at The Real Deal eagerly look forward to the Oscars every year. So, in these next couple of weeks leading up to the awards, our recommendations will feature a previous Best Picture nominee or winner.
This week, our recommendation is The Departed, the 2006 drama that won 4 Oscars out of 5 nominations, including Best Picture. The Departed is based on the true story of the Irish Mafia in Boston and follows 2 recently graduated officers from the State Police Academy who are on opposite sides of the law. One is a good guy just looking to make a name for himself as a cop, while the other is a criminal who has infiltrated the police department with the intention of reporting its every move to his mob boss. The stakes are raised throughout the film as each man tries to expose the other.
The Departed was directed by Martin Scorsese and features an all-star cast that includes Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg, and Alec Baldwin. Check it out.
When I was your age, they would say we could become cops or criminals. What I'm saying is this. When you're facing a loaded gun, what's the difference?
This is not the regular police. This is the state police.
We are an elite unit.
This is who we're after.
Frank Costello.
You won't be paid as a regular cop, but there's a bonus involved.
So what do I do? You will not ever know the identity of undercover people.
You have anyone in with Costello presently?
Maybe.
Do you know who I am?
Maybe not.
I'm gonna have my associates search you.
That was quick. Think he's dead already?
Get your hands off me.
I think we could work something out.
We are all convinced that Costello has at least one mole inside the Special Investigations Unit.
There are parts of my job I can't talk to you about.
Man, you are trouble.
You don't know the half of it.
You better get organized, quick.
Hey, last time I checked, I tipped you off and you're not in jail.
Getting the feeling we got a cop in my crew.
Sooner or later, he's gonna find out who I am, and he's gonna kill me.
I can get the rap. You just gotta let me do it my way.
If you don't, it won't be me who pays for it.
There is a leak from the inside. It's real, man. Smoke him out.
You're lying to me.
There are things you don't want to know about.
What are you waiting for, honestly? I mean, do you want him to chop me up and feed me to the poor? Is that what you guys want?
How's your mother?
She's on her way out.
You all are. Act accordingly.
Glad you stuck around. The Oscars are fast approaching, and we are very anxious to see who will win.
In preparation for the awards, Eli Ralston and Julia Ricci are here to give you their next round of Oscar predictions. Take it away, guys.
Hey everyone, we're back with another edition of Oscar predictions, and this time we'll be discussing Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress.
Let's start with Best Supporting Actress.
First, we have Sally Field for Lincoln. Field gives an intense performance in this film and does a great job portraying Mary Todd Lincoln as a human being and not just a figure. Her portrayal shows that the president was not the only one carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Sally Field was great in this role, and I would love to see her win, but I don't think it will happen this time.
Up next is Jackie Weaver for Silver Linings Playbook. Weaver does a good job playing Bradley Cooper's doting mother, but her performance didn't really stand out to me, probably because she didn't get enough screen time.
And finally, we have Anne Hathaway for Les Miserables. In a harrowing portrayal, Hathaway portrays a woman who becomes a prostitute that cries and sings and, spoiler alert, dies, which pretty much guarantees an Oscar win, if not already indicated by her Golden Globe and Screen Actors Guild victories for this role. Hathaway breathes new life into the famous song I Dreamed a Dream, which she sings with pure anguish. I think this is her best performance to date, which is why she's my pick to win the Oscar.
You know, Julia, for the first time I agree with you. That performance was really great, and Hathaway's won every other award, so it's obvious she's going to win that Oscar for this. Now, some of you may have noticed we haven't talked about Amy Adams or Helen Hunt in their roles, but we haven't seen either of their films, so we don't feel like we should comment on how they did. I'm sure they were great, though.
Now let's move on to Supporting Actor. Before we begin, I'd like to point out that every actor nominated in this category is a previous Oscar winner.
First is Alan Arkin for Argo. How's that for alliteration? Anyway, Arkin is hilarious as a Hollywood producer who helps Ben Affleck's character pull off the escape. I liked Arkin's performance, especially his deadpan cynicism, but it reminds me of just about every other role that he's played.
Next we have Robert De Niro for Silver Linings Playbook. In one of the best roles he's had in a while, De Niro gives a fantastic performance as a frustrated but loving father. There's one scene in the movie between De Niro and Bradley Cooper's characters that is incredibly emotional and touching, and it shows De Niro at his best.
Next is Philip Seymour Hoffman for The Master. As we mentioned earlier, we haven't seen The Master, so we feel we shouldn't really comment on his performance either. Sorry, Philip. You're nominated, so you were probably great.
Up next is Tommy Lee Jones for Lincoln. Jones is wonderful as Thaddeus Stevens, the radical congressman who plays a large role in getting the 13th Amendment passed. He practically steals the show with an entertaining combination of wit and rage, not to mention that fabulous wig. Mr. Jones won a Screen Actors Guild Award for this performance, which is usually a gateway to an Oscar win, so he's my pick to take home this award.
You're wrong again, Julia, because last but not least, we have Christoph Waltz for Django Unchained. I'm going to start off with saying I freaking love Christoph Waltz. He is my favorite actor by far. Every single role that he's played, even though it's only been a couple, he's really great at it. He's got that mix of charm, sarcasm, and that maybe he's going to kill you, maybe he's not. I just love every role he's been in, especially his Quentin Tarantino films. And since he won an Oscar for his first supporting actor role in the Tarantino film, I think he's going to take home this Oscar for it.
Gosh, these categories are tough too. I think everybody deserves to win. Maybe there will be a 5-way tie.
I seriously doubt that's going to happen, Julia. Well, stay tuned next week for where we discuss who will win Best Actor in a Leading Role and Best Actress in a Leading Role. And don't forget to watch the Oscars on February 24th.
Thanks, guys. Maybe a win for Anne Hathaway will help people forget that she and James Franco hosted the Oscars.
Man, I had almost completely erased that from my mind. Thanks for reminding me.
Oops. Well, look at the time. I guess it's time for our last break. When we come back, Ben Cramer will tell you about an actor you should keep your eye on and under the radar. And we'll give you our final word. Don't go anywhere.
A little talk.
We can be adults about this.
Yeah, let's.
Oh, thank God. You're all right, though, huh?
Yeah, rental car doesn't even have a scratch on it.
Woo! That's great news. Car's fine. What's more important...
Oh, you should have put your hazards on.
I'm an outlaw. I'm an outlaw. Just kept talking about you. Would you have treated her differently if she was a man?
That's not what happened. Em, what is going on?
I don't think you should be my doctor anymore.
Someone gets punished.
I had no idea this was going on.
You've been lying to her, and he was lying to me.
I would never be here if it weren't for you.
I want my life back!
You know I'm not crazy. Everyone knows everything.
Em, are you awake?
Destroy that before it destroys you.
Side effect.
I'm glad you stuck around. There's a lot of bright young talent coming through Hollywood these days, and it seems like they pop out of nowhere. Ben Cramer is here to tell you about one such actor that you should pay attention to. Ben?
Back in 2002, 12-year-old actor Nicholas Hoult had a minor breakout with his first lead role, acting alongside Hugh Grant in About a Boy. It wasn't until 2011 when American audiences got to see him again in a big movie, this time playing Hank McCoy, aka Beast, in Matthew Vaughn's X-Men First Class. His off-screen relationship with Jennifer Lawrence, which has recently ended, has helped bring his name into the spotlight more. But before becoming the Beast, he was known to British audiences for playing Tony in the British version of the teenage television show Skins. After a 19-episode stint on Skins, he has been seen in supporting roles like in the 2009 Colin Firth film A Single Man and the 2010 blockbuster Clash of the Titans. This year just might be his biggest year yet, with 2 movies where he is the lead role. The first, which just came out February 1st, is Warm Bodies. Hoult plays R, a zombie who falls in love with a human. Critics have responded well to the zombie rom-com, and Hoult's performance in particular. The next movie is Jack and the Giant Slayer, which comes out March 1st, exactly 1 month after Warm Bodies. Hoult plays young farmer Jack in a creative take on the Jack the Giant Killer and Jack and the Beanstalk fairy tales. Future projects for Hoult include a supporting role in the 4th movie of the Mad Max franchise called Mad Max Fury Road, starring Tom Hardy. Hoult will also reprise his role as Hank McCoy, aka Beast, in X-Men Days of Future Past, sequel to First Class. This has been Under the Radar. I'm Ben Cramer.
Thanks, Ben. Well, it's about time to wrap things up, but first we'll give you our final word. One of my favorite dramas is coming back for its 2nd season. Touch will premiere this Friday on Fox. Touch stars Kiefer Sutherland, who plays Martin Bohm, a former reporter struggling to raise his 11-year-old son Jake, who is a mute who can see past, present, and future events through number patterns. The first season centered on Jake showing his father these numbers so that he can prevent bad things from happening. Meanwhile, an organization called Astor Corp takes an intense and dangerous interest in Jake and tries to revoke Martin's custody rights. Having no choice but to leave New York, Martin and Jake head to Los Angeles, where they find a woman named Lucy who is looking for her daughter, Amelia. This is an interesting twist because we've learned that Amelia has a gift eerily similar to Jake's, and that's where Season 2 will pick up, trying to find Amelia and solve the mystery of their strange gift. I really like this show because it's different yet intriguing. Jake's number patterns show how lives from across the world are interconnected in ways that we common folk couldn't possibly predict. And it makes you wonder how your own fate affects the fate of others. This is a complicated show if you haven't seen the first season, however. It's one of those shows where you can't miss an episode because you'll be hopelessly lost if you do. But I promise that it's worth a watch. So tune in to Fox on February 8th for the 2nd season of Touch.
As usual, there were many great commercials to be seen during the Super Bowl this past Sunday. But one of them really caught my eye, and no, I am not talking about that incredibly awkward GoDaddy makeout one. I'm talking about the extended look for Iron Man 3. It's probably not surprised to hear that I'm a pretty big Iron Man fan, and the first Iron Man movie in my mind was brilliant. The second one, however, well, I wasn't as impressed with. I love Jon Favreau, but I felt like he lost a little of the fun and humor that made that first one so endearing. If you didn't get a chance to see the extended look, it starts off with Robert Downey Jr. looking extensively into the camera until the audience is forced to utter a laugh. It then shows us a lot of exciting new footage, including a scene where 11 passengers get sucked out of an airplane and Tony Stark is en route to save every one of them himself. Jon Favreau will not be on to direct Iron Man 3, but he will produce. Instead, Shane Black, writer and director of Kiss Kiss, Bang Bang, will be at the helm. Also, Ben Kingsley will be playing the villain, the Mandarin. That enough gets me excited to see this thing. Iron Man 3 will be in theaters on May 3rd. And let's hope it gets Iron Man back on track to pure awesomeness.
Well, that's it for this week. Be sure to check out our Facebook and Twitter pages for updates on all things entertainment. Until next time, I'm Kayli Russell.
And I'm Andrew Bennett. See you next week.